Welcome back to the Explainer and our Zodiac Psychology series. Today, we're zeroing in on a really fascinating birth date, April 7th. We're going to unlock the personality blueprint of what we call the intuitive warrior. Let's dive in. Okay, so when I say Aries, what pops into your head? Probably someone bold, fiery, always charging ahead, right? A real warrior. But what if I told you there's an Aries out there who's way more of a strategic thinker than an impulsive fighter? I know, it sounds like a contradiction, and that's the super interesting paradox we're getting into today. All right, here's the game plan. We'll look at the intuitive warrior foundation, decode their cosmic and numeric code, peek inside their mind, check out their love and career life, and wrap it all up with a cool esoteric toolkit. Okay, first things first. To really get what makes this personality tick, we've got to start at the beginning, with the foundation. And for anyone born on April 7th, that foundation is built on the rock-solid bedrock of Aries. So at its absolute core, you've got Aries, the ram. This sign is ruled by Mars, the planet of pure, raw energy, drive, and passion. That's where they get that fundamental push to do things, to take action, and to lead. It's like the raw, fiery clay that we're starting with, before it gets shaped into something totally unique. But here's the twist. For someone born on April 7th, it's not just about pushing all that fire outward. No, their brand of Aries energy gets channeled inward. It's a total game changer. They become these deep thinkers, these seekers of truth, explorers of their own minds. So you're probably asking, why? What causes this big internal shift? Well, it all comes down to two super powerful things that modify everything: their exact spot in the cosmic calendar and the kind of mystical vibration of their birth number. Let me give you a picture. A typical Aries, that's like a big, crackling bonfire, raw, surging, full of heat. But the April 7th Aries, their energy is different. It's had a bit more time to settle, to stabilize. It's less of a raging wildfire and more like a focused laser beam. That's how impulsive action gets turned into strategic thought, and why they value looking inward so much. And then there's this, the other major piece of the puzzle, the number that defines this entire day and adds a whole new layer of meaning. Yep, we're talking about the number 7. Now, in numerology, the number 7 is a big deal. It's the number of the seeker. This is all about looking inward, analyzing things, and having this deep, driving need for truth and wisdom. People with a strong 7 vibe, they're just not happy with the easy, surface-level answers. They have to know the why behind absolutely everything. So, okay, let's put it all together. You take that fiery, action-packed energy of Mars and Aries, and you blend it with the deep, wise, analytical vibe of the number 7. What do you get? You get this incredible hybrid. A warrior who isn't guided by just raw impulse, but by this powerful, super sharp intuition. They're the ones who watch and observe first, and then they act with this amazing, quiet confidence. All right, so what does all this actually feel like inside the head of an April 7th person? Let's get into their biggest strengths and, the challenges that naturally come along with them. Okay, their strengths are, wow, they're pretty formidable. First off, they have this incredibly powerful intuition, that gut feeling that is almost never wrong. And it's backed up by a razor-sharp analytical mind that can just take any problem apart piece by piece. They're also fiercely independent and self-reliant. And because they spend so much time thinking and reflecting, they have this depth and insight that most people just skim right over. And that classic Aries fire, it's been transformed. It becomes this cool, calm focus that makes them absolutely unshakable when the pressure is on. But you know how it goes. Every strength has its flip side, right? That amazing analytical mind, it can totally tip over into overthinking, leading to that dreaded analysis paralysis. And being so self-reliant can sometimes mean they pull back emotionally, retreating into their own little world. This, of course, can make it really tough for them to open up to people, and if they're not careful, that healthy quest for truth can kind of sour into skepticism or even feeling isolated. And that right there is pretty much their core life lesson. It's a balancing act, right? It's all about learning to trust that powerful inner world, their gut feelings, their sharp mind, but also learning how to open the door a little and build real, genuine connections with other people. Okay, so we've been inside their head, but how does all this stuff actually play out in the real world? Let's get practical. Let's talk love, career, and money. When it comes to relationships, forget about anything superficial. It's just not going to fly. They need depth. This is why a Scorpio can be such a great match. They both understand that intensity and the hidden parts of themselves. A Pisces can connect on this really deep, almost psychic level. It just feels right, you know? With a Virgo, it's a true meeting of the minds, this amazing intellectual partnership that's also super grounded. And then you have Capricorn, who totally gets and respects their ambition and strategic thinking. Together, they can be a real power couple. So at the end of the day, what do they really need in a partner? It's not about flash or charm. It's about a deep, real connection, both intellectually and emotionally. Once they let you in, they are incredibly loyal. But getting there takes time, because they're naturally reserved and super selective. And yeah, their biggest hurdle in love, it's getting past that emotional wall they build and learning that being vulnerable isn't a weakness. It's actually the bridge to getting that deep connection they secretly want so badly. Now, let's talk money. This is where their number 7 brain really takes over. They are fantastic at strategic, long-term planning. They make decisions with their head, not their heart. The only catch? Sometimes they can be so cautious that they overthink it and miss a golden opportunity. So the key for them is to trust their analysis for sure, but also be willing to take a smart, calculated risk when all the signs are pointing to go. At work, that analytical brain is their absolute superpower. They are built to shine in any field that requires deep, focused thought. We're talking research, writing, psychology, data analysis, you get the idea. That strong intuition also means they can be amazing in healing professions. Really, their ideal work style is independent, focused, and in a quiet environment where they can just put their head down and do the deep, meaningful work they love without a million distractions. All right, to wrap things up, let's give you a quick little reference guide. Think of it as an esoteric toolkit filled with all the symbols and energies that are perfectly aligned with the April 7th blueprint. Okay, so these are the symbols that are really in sync with your unique energy. Notice the numbers? 7, 16, 25? They all boil down to that powerful 7 vibration. The colors totally capture your personality. Deep blue for that inner wisdom, silver for your intuition, and that pop of crimson for the Aries fire that's always there. And the crystals are just perfect tools to have around. Amethyst to boost your intuition, lapis lazuli to help in your search for truth, and obsidian for some solid grounding and protection. And really, if you take one thing away, let it be this. It all boils down to that perfect description, the intuitive warrior. People born on April 7th have this undeniable strength on the outside, that's the Aries. But their real power, the thing that makes them so special, is the incredible depth they build on the inside. If you would like a personalized, full reading based on your birthday, you can request one using the link in the description or bio. Thank you for watching. Kindly like, follow, subscribe, and share.